Good evening. This is CTV News. I'm Patricia Vallone. Thanks for joining us tonight. Well, a history-making day on Capitol Hill. The U.S. Senate is voting on the fate of President Donald Trump. Impeached by the House for obstruction of Congress and abuse of power, the Senate is deciding tonight whether the president stays in office. When all the votes are counted, the Republican majority is expected to acquit Donald Trump of all charges. And just moments ago, the first vote was taken and the Senate acquitted Trump of abuse of power. The vote was 52-48. Earlier today, one prominent GOP Senator, Mitt Romney, went on record saying he would vote to convict.
As it is with each senator, my vote is an act of conviction. We've come to different conclusions, fellow senators, but I trust we have all followed the dictates of our conscience. I acknowledge that my verdict will not remove the president from office. The results of this Senate court will in fact be appealed to a higher court, the judgment of the American people. Voters will make the final decision, just as the president's lawyers have implored.
And the impeachment vote is continuing at this hour. Well, a Tuskegee Airman is honored during President Trump's third State of the Union address. During his speech, Trump gave Bethesda native Charles McGee an honorary promotion to the rank of Brigadier General. He is believed to be the oldest living Tuskegee Airman. McGee commanded squadrons during World War II, as well as the Korean and Vietnam Wars. Also during his address, Trump touted his achievements on the economy, healthcare, and the creation of the Space Force.
Jobs are booming, incomes are soaring, poverty is plummeting, crime is falling, confidence is surging, and our country is thriving and highly respected again.
It was like a reality show. I saw a lot of pandering, I saw a lot of things that were not truthful, and that was quite a visual at the end when the speaker stood up and tore up her paper copy of the speech.
Thought he did a good job laying out what he wants to do. Was not happy to see the exchange between him and the speaker, both at the beginning and at the end. And that again is part of the problem right now that I think a lot of Americans want us to get past and are looking for leaders to get past.
And Republican Michael Steele was Maryland Lieutenant Governor under former Governor Robert Ehrlich. And this just into the newsroom, President Trump has been acquitted of the second article of impeachment. 53 votes were found not guilty to 47 guilty. Once again, President Trump has been acquitted of both articles of impeachment. Meantime, Governor Larry Hogan delivers his State of the State address and calls on Pennsylvania to do more to stem Chesapeake Bay pollution. He also calls for greater scrutiny of school districts and their spending practices. Meantime, Hogan is proposing to eliminate income taxes for retirees making less than $50,000 and reducing it by half for those making under $100K.
We propose the Retirement Tax Reduction Act of 2020, which will provide more than $1 billion in tax relief over 5 years. Under this plan, retirees making $50,000 or less who are often forced to make tough choices every single day just to make ends meet will pay no state income tax whatsoever.
Hogan is also once again introducing legislation to end gerrymandering in Maryland after the U.S. Supreme Court ruled last summer that federal courts have no role in deciding that issue. Legislation that would impose stricter regulations on who can maintain certain weapons in Maryland is scheduled for a hearing this afternoon in the state Senate. The measure would require all private sales of rifles and shotguns be subjected to background checks.
We have to balance. There's always checks and balances. Like we all support the Second Amendment, but we also have to protect the public safety against those who should not have guns because they're banned by law. We need to protect our families, our children, our communities, and this bill will do that.
Marylanders for 400 years have been loaning shotguns and hunting rifles, to their friends and family, and it's not been a problem. This bill is really a solution looking for a problem. All the murders in Baltimore City aren't happening with loaned out long guns and shotguns. They're mostly drug gangs and criminals that are shooting each other with handguns.
And a cross-filed bill passed in the House yesterday. Other gun control measures introduced include a ban on untraceable guns made with 3D printers and expanding the state's ban on assault rifles.